Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy AMG Dens. Welcome to the channel if you're new around here. I thought in 2025 I would be inspired to record and create some new content around different things which maybe I haven't covered in the world of my sim racing journey. So today we are going to be doing a point and shoot video of all the things in my sim racing kind of setup. So without further ado, let's get into some of the hardware then. So first thing I have is the Formula Pro Elite sim racing steering wheel. This is actually version 1, my GSI, Gomez Sim Industry. Funny story, I was really annoyed when I actually got this because I purchased it for my birthday about 2 years ago, and about 3 months after I purchased it, GSI, aka Gomez Sim Industry, announced that they were going to bring a Formula Pro Elite version 2. So it's like, god damn it man, I just spent over £1,000 on a steering wheel with a dashboard, and there's going to be a new version that's going to make this outdated. Anyways, so that was my initial thought, but honestly it's held up the test of time so well over the last 2 years. Rubber grips, so sometimes I use gloves, but I like it nice and raw for the most part. So yeah, I just use my bare hands and it's never really too sweaty, and even though it is a bit dirty, you can see a bit of debris on the side there, it looks a lot more nicer and it's a bit more durable than, like, I guess an Alcantara steering wheel. So there's that. Then I guess in the shot I might as well talk about as well, I've got this Sparco Grid Q sim racing seat as well, or racing seat. You could put this in a real life car as well. I think it's FIA approved, but it's aftermarket kind of seat that I got from Demon Tweaks. Shout out to them. I'll put a link in the description if you want to buy from the UK. And essentially that is mounted via a bracket to my Trak Racer TR8 sim rig kind of rig. So it's an aluminium frame essentially that connects everything together, or is basically a base for everything to annex itself to. So I love the TR8 mainly because it was an affordable sim rig profile. You've got adjustability in terms of the forward and backwards movement. You've also got a couple of adjustable bolts here which would influence the tilt or angle of the wheelbase on the wheelbase plate, and you can also move and slide that forwards and backwards with these levers here. So in case you have friends or family come over, they want to have a go on the rig, then you can impress them with that sort of stuff as well and move it so it's more comfortable for them. So there's always that too. Whilst we're actually pointing to the floor, I've also got these Heusinkveld sprint pedals, so a clutch, a brake, and then a throttle. These are all what they say load cell pedals. So essentially, in the world of sim racing, they say that they say that basically load cell pedals are a lot more accurate and easier to be consistent with, because unlike more cheaper potentiometer based pedals which measure your inputs by the position, with load cell pedals it does it based on the amount of force that you apply on the pedal, which I think just for the human body it's a bit more easier to be consistent because you do that via muscle memory. So really great pedals. The Heusinkvelds feel so smooth. I had Fanatec V3 pedals before this, but they weren't really as durable, and I had an issue with like the haptic feedback motors on the back. They kept going out, and when I reached out to Fanatec to try and help me out with those, you can anticipate what Fanatec customer service is like. So without taking any shots fired, yeah, it incentivized me to go elsewhere in the market, and I love these. Obviously the proper esports guys like Max Verstappen and Team Red Lion, they use the ultimates, but yeah, they're way above my skill level, so I don't think I really need pedals like that. You even have, I think, the Simucube active pedals too, which are amazing in the technology that they do. It's like an active pedal that moves based on ABS, traction, different parameters that you can fine tune. But yeah, me, I'll just go with some very bog standard but helpful sprints. So there's that. On the topic of Simucube, actually, let's come around the back here and you guys can see I've got these little fitteds as well, as the Americans call them. Mercedes, another Mercedes, got this one from the Virtual Championship which I'll talk about in a bit too. got this aged and yellow like white Mercedes hat that's been through many hours of blood, sweat and tears, and actually a signed hat as well from GT3 driver Ian Loggy, which was super cool as well when we went to Brands Hatch a couple of years ago. But to bring you around the back here, you can see the Simucube 2 Pro wheelbase. It's a very serious bit of kit. It produces about 25 Newton meters. So again, when I started off my sim racing journey, I started off with a very basic CSL Elite non-DD wheelbase that came as part of a bundle that they were promoting with Formula One at the time. I think it only produced about 5 Newton meters, so it's not even like a quarter of what this could produce. But you know, it got me so far. And then yeah, I think a couple of years later I got the CSL Pro DD, which I think was 8 Newton meters, and then that gave out as well. And like I mentioned, just with Fanatec customer service, yeah, didn't really help me too much, so I decided to just kind of follow the industry trend. This is like an industrial level type like sim racing rig. You'll find this probably at most like professional esports events and conventions and stuff like that. And just on the whole, Simucube have a really popular and great reputation in the sim racing market. You know, it's them versus Azatec, and there's so many to even name off the top of my head, so yeah, I won't get into a long run about that. So yeah, that's the shot from the back. Probably another thing I should mention, which is like a big elephant in the room, as people say, because it's massive, that's what she said, is my monitor. This is a 49-inch Samsung ultra-wide monitor. The idea came to me when I participated in a Mercedes esports challenge. We actually got to the semi-finals of that, and they had huge ultra wides like this too. So it really helps with like point of view and FOV, field of view as well, just being able to see more of what's going on at the side of the car with such a wide FOV. And it makes it feel a lot more immersive. This is a really high spec ultra wide though. So Samsung does like 5 or 6 variants of the same monitor. You can get, I think, maybe 60 hertz, 120 hertz, but this is the big daddy 240 hertz. So although my PC probably can't run 240 hertz most times, I just wanted to future-proof my experience and, you know, buy so that I don't have to kind of change for a long time. That's the thing with sim racing, you know, there's so many different levels you can enter in at, but as my sim rig evolved, I tried to buy things that would stand the test of time and that I could keep for a really, really long time. So yeah, with the ultra-wide, basically, it comes on, well, I had to buy a separate TV monitor or monitor stand. Show you the legs of it all the way down here. So that's separate actually from this TR8 Racer rig. You can actually adapt the TR8 Pro to have a monitor, but I don't think they support a 49-inch ultra wide. So I had to go and basically do that myself. So there is that. Showing you some other stuff as well before I get into my PC specs too. I've got a Shure MV7 microphone. So again, I breathe quite heavily when I drive. You know, it's just the immersion. I get probably a bit carried away. I've got these big kind of Turtle Beach headphones that block out a lot of the noise as well, so I can't even hear how heavily I'm breathing sometimes. So I had like a normal microphone that you know, goes as a mouthpiece or headset piece, and you would hear my breathing on recordings. So I wanted to be a bit more professional. I also run a podcast with the great Stripping the Dipping crew. So yeah, decided to get like a proper podcast mic, and the MV7 is like an industry standard. The likes of Basic Holly use this microphone a lot too. In terms of the web camera, I've got this AverMedia 513 webcam. I think you can shoot in 4K resolution, but I obviously don't record or really, you know, do anything in such a high resolution. Most of the time I record my webcam in like 720p, just so OBS doesn't zap all of the CPU potential from the game itself. So there's that too. And yeah, just a couple of other miscellaneous things before I get into the PC. I got my little mascots here as well. I've got little Bow Wow, Bow Wow, Bow Wow. You know, little Bow Wow, the of course fictional kind of, I guess, turtle from Mario Kart, right? And his dad Bowser too, Big Daddy. I've got these official Puma gloves as well. Don't ask me how much they cost, because I'd have to kill you. I'd kill myself as well, actually, if I was to explain how much these were. And actually, they were too small for my tiny elf hands anyway. So that was that. Mike Fowler, my Simracing teammate, presented me this model Lewis Hamilton car, but it came on this plinth and it's very hard to remove, so it's just there. And my girlfriend also presented me this blue helmet as well, so that's there. And yeah, as for posters and stuff like that, obviously you guys know I'm a huge huge Lewis Hamilton fan, so I've got this poster here. I've got Pixie Lott, she's like an English singer. I'm not quite sure what she's up to these days. I hope that she's keeping well and selling more records, but yeah, she was just starting off her career and she performed at our school, so I was one of the good kids that got a signed poster. Lewis Hamilton poster here as well, you know, just with the motivational quotes and whatnot. I really try and keep myself motivated because there are plenty of times in life, or just generally races too, where you know, things don't go to plan, and you know, you just have to kind of push yourself on, you know, don't give up. More Lewis Hamilton quotes. Michael, the man that got me into Formula One himself, which I'm going to come back to in a second. My lovely wifey, and of course as well I've got Martin Luther King, because we always be dreaming. But yeah, to bring it back to Simracing Corner, I'm a huge GT3 fan as well, so the team that I follow the most is Ram Racing. Obviously John Ferguson, the owner, and obviously lead driver for the GT3 side. And then we've got my boys Harry and Luca Hopkinson as well. They've actually both moved on to McLaren, so I hope that they will have an amazing season in British GT with Optimum Racing, and I'm yet to really hear what's happening with Ram this season, but hopefully I will get some news soon. Some more Heusinkveld stickers as well, posters, and Lewis Hamilton poster as well. Can't get enough of Hamilton, can I? And then 2 trophies, which I'll go into a bit more detail now. So this one is SOP Motorsports Championship trophy. When I first started sim racing, it was on the PlayStation, and the first ever game I got was Assetto Corsa Competizione. I'll probably put a picture of the bundle so you guys can see that. And yeah, we took part in a championship. It's where I met one of my big and like, you know, long life friends, Mike Fowler. We both participated in that championship. We met each other online and then dominated that league. So he finished P1 and I finished P2. More recently, if you're a more recent subscriber of the channel, you would have known also that I raced with Mercedes AMG Motorsport in the virtual championship. It's the first ever season of this championship. Mercedes have historically been maybe a bit cautious of entering spaces like that, and I think on top of that as well, they really just want to make sure that if they do it perfectly. So that was a really fun championship. Hopefully they will bring it back again for this year, because I had so much fun, met so many great people as well that have you know, become good friends of me too. And then yeah, as for the cars as well, funny enough, which one was the first one? So funny story, guys. In, was it 2022? Obviously, you had all the kind of backlash of Abu Dhabi, and there was rumors apparently that Mercedes weren't gonna bring out a black Mercedes. So I was like, man, I really want them to stick with the livery. So what I'll do is I'll get like a model car. So this is a mini champs version. I think this is Lewis Hamilton. I think it was the Eiffel Grand Prix. So it was the 1 year they went to the Nürburgring in 2020. It's the legendary race where I think he beat Michael Schumacher's win record or equaled it. So Mick came out and gave him a copy, or not copy, I think it was original version of Michael Schumacher's helmet, which is super cool. And then, like I said as well, the following year, they bring out the W13, the most disastrous Mercedes, the most disastrous monstrosity ever, like Mercedes history, in the silver. And then just honestly, guys, like be careful when you go about collecting what do you call it, miniature cars, because it becomes just such a bad addiction. So I got the W13. I got Lewis's earlier car, so his first car, which I think was the W04, I want to say. Because Schumacher came in 2010, right? It's 10, 11, and then Lewis came in 12. So it could be the W03, I guess. But yeah, so got Lewis's car there as well. This one's got a cool Michael Jackson helmet and so forth from the United States Grand Prix. I've got a Niki Lauda car as well. This was when Niki passed away, unfortunately, the week before the Monaco Grand Prix. So Lewis had a red Halo red helmet. This was the infamous Mercedes livery, like the half white, half silver, when they were at Hockenheim, when Mercedes were, I think, celebrating a milestone in a decade's worth of, achievements in Formula One. And then you have a really slippery condition. I think Charles went off, Lewis went off and then tried to pit, and then they didn't have his tires ready, and then they had to, don't remind me, please. But yeah, so there's that. We got Michael Schumacher collection edition model car here too. Obviously, as you guys know, I'm a huge Michael Schumacher fan. He's the one that initially got me into Formula One, so without him, all these other cars probably wouldn't be here. And I've got some of his Mercedes cars as well. So got his first one, that's W01, W02, and then W03 I need to collect at some point. And then obviously Lewis came in. I started collecting the I guess model cars back from 2021. I tried to collect as many cars from that season. So I got Sebastian Vettel, this limited edition 222 at Imola. I've got this McLaren, I think it's supposed to be Daniel Ricciardo because it's number 3. So that was at Monaco with this cool Golf livery with the kind of water stickered cigarette, e-cigarette kind of like sponsors on the side. I got Esteban Ocon, the bestie, and you can kind of see, if it wasn't for the reflection, that kind of podium board just behind his front left tire there as well. So that's in there. I am a Mercedes fan. There'll always, I guess, be a bit of grief and just like, vengeance between Mercedes and Red Bull fan. But of course, I had to get Max's white bull from Turkey because that's just a very iconic livery. And even more controversial for that season, I guess, from a Red Bull fan's perspective, was Lewis Hamilton winning at Silverstone. This was the 2021 infamous Cops incident, which I may go into any further detail on. W14, I want to say, the one with all black. Finally, Mercedes brought it back. And then I got some of Lewis's earlier cars. So I think his first podium, his first pole, championship 08 car. Got Pablo Montoya 2 up here, above a Schumacher test car. And then obviously, like I said before, guys, I love GT3. So I've got Raffaello Marcello and Danny Giancardella GT Masters model, of course. This one is Mamba, so it's like the snakeskin livery. I've got as well the legendary, Spa 24-hour car as well. I think they in real life put this car in the Mercedes museum because it was such a great chassis. This car, or the chassis, had won a number of important races before and then won the Spa 24, so they retired the chassis. And then on top of that as well, I have Ian Loggy, which I mentioned earlier, him and Jules Gonon. I've got their D2 throwback livery British GT car, and then another awesome AMG GT3 with Boguslawski, Marcello, and I think as well it was Jules Gonon that year too. So that's my collection so far. Looking to build, but obviously more and more as time goes by. And then guys, it's gonna be a bit awkward for me because I'm gonna have to find an elegant way to jump into my seat so you guys can see my seating position when I'm driving. I think I've covered most things now, to be fair, but when I'm in the sim rig, this is kind of my seating position. Gonna try and angle this phone because I've got like a selfie stick to do most of this stuff. But yeah, as you can kind of see, this is wide. It's extraordinarily wide, so it kind of helps a lot with my field of view. I've got a stream deck here as well, so unfortunately I lost a lot of my settings the other day because there was like a bug with iRacing. They advised me to do a clean install of Windows, and I lost everything because I didn't have the opportunity to back it up. So at the moment I've just got one page of stuff, and this is predominantly for stream. So I've just got the time. That's gonna be the start of the stream, that's the gameplay, that's the web camera. That one is the end credits. This is for just all mute. This is for Discord mute. This is to mute everybody on Discord when everyone will shut up. This is for OBS. This is iRacing Manager, so it's a tool that I use to open up several iRacing apps at once. And then obviously the cute little Discord guy. And then we got Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head, fam. Just with his many faces here as well. And there's some more gloves on standby just in case, you know, I need to, you know, it gets a bit sweaty. This room, guys, is tiny, especially with the sim rig and then all the guitars, and then I've got my own ensuite bathroom too. It does get a bit kind of claustrophobic inside here, so yeah. And then to power up the steering wheel, I've got a USB hub as well, which also has other things connected into it. So if I just reset that, I think my steering wheel should go back to the way it should be. Yeah, there we go. So we've got the lovely dashboard on there for now. And then the final thing you guys might want to know about is the PC. So again, you'll have to forgive me, and I'll put the specs inside the description. But as far as I know, because I had Mike Fowler, my great friend, help me out with the spec this PC out during COVID when parts were limited. So I started off with a AMD 7 Series 5800 normal CPU. On iRacing, they were saying that you can get more FPS if you upgrade the CPU, so we then went to a 5800X3D, which did actually give us a few more performance benefits. That was great. In relation to the graphics card, it's a 6700XT AMD card, so again, does the trick. You know, it's not the most powerful thing in the market, but does most things amicably okay. I'm just gonna see if I can kind of show you the performance screen so you guys can see. So yeah, AMD 7 5800X3D, and then 6700 XT for the graphics card. Initially we spec the PC, or Mike spec the PC with 2 HDD drives, but they were quite slow, so in the end I ended up upgrading one of the drives to SSD. I think it was Samsung 3 terabyte component. I'll put the link, or I'll put the thing inside the chat so you guys can see. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's practically it. It's been me rambling for 23 minutes. I hate the sound of my voice, so to record something for 23 minutes is obscene. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know, of course. More than happy to answer them. If any updates come throughout the year, obviously I might do an update of this video. I often get put off of making videos like this because I'm quite critical of myself, and I wanted to kind of be shown in a really good, like, high, like, you know, budget way, and, you know, exclusive camera shots and all this stuff. But, you know, yeah, this is just for the really geeky nerds I've ever wondered what it's like, you know, in my sim racing rig and stuff like that, so forth and so on. So yeah, we've got like little cable running to the USB port as well, just to power up this bad boy up. But yes, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. It's been your boy AMG Dents. Happy sim racing, and I'll catch you all soon. Peace.